Hey y'all, what's up? It's Noelle with Baker's Backyard Bounty. It has been a while since I've made a video and I just wanted to check in with you guys and give you some garden updates, basically give you a full tour of what's going on here on our little suburban homestead. So like I said, it's been a while since we did a video. We've had a stomach bug going through the family, just working on getting infrastructure in the garden going, and I just haven't had a ton of bandwidth mentally to be able to make videos. But I am back in the game. We have everything kind of like rocking and rolling now. It feels a little less like labor intensive back there, so I wanted to share that with you guys. One thing that I want to point out that has really been sitting in my mind for the past few weeks as I've been just reflecting on the garden, working back there, planning it out. There are so many ways to garden and there's so many styles of gardening. So if you YouTube some of those popular garden channels, for example Garden Answer, I mean, she is an incredible gardener and she does it so differently than say Roots and Refuge Farm, right? Jessica Soward, she does it so differently from permaculture gardeners, and so you really just have to find what fits for you. Our family, our heart is in sustainability, so going more plastic free, creating these closed loops where we are making our own soil amendments, we are making our own compost, we are using the animals that we have to benefit our farm, growing food for our family, growing food to feed the animals. So we're really trying to work with production and sustainability versus just consumption, buying new plants every year, buying bags of soil every year. We're really trying to get away from that because we have a heart for just the environment and healing the earth and stewarding the land that we have been given well. That is our passion and that is where we're coming from. So while our crops may not look gargantuan because we're not, doping them up with tons of fertilizers, what is happening is we're really focusing this year on our soil, getting our garden beds established. I have a huge interest in permaculture. I have so much to learn with it, and we're just getting started. But just know that that's kind of our style, and it doesn't mean it's right or wrong, it's just what fits for our family. So that might have felt a little soapboxy, but I want you to know there's a thousand ways to garden, and so don't let doing it the right way stop you or get in your way. Okay, if you're new to our channel, please subscribe because I'm going to be doing these garden tours all throughout the growing season, and it's going to be fun to see it evolve and change. I really appreciate anyone who subscribes. That means a lot to us that you invest your time in watching our family and our garden grow. We are in the suburbs of Dallas. We live about 30 minutes outside of Dallas, Texas. We're in zone 8A, a little bit of 8B, kind of on the verge, but 8A is really what I get my information from. And what else? We live in a neighborhood. We're a family of 4, so I have 2 daughters, Lily and Zoe. Lily just turned 2 in March, and Zoe is almost 7 months old. So we have young kids, which means we're not back in the garden for hours a day. We really have to do a lot of tag teaming and just keeping it simple because we have such young kids and they're not really down to be in the garden all day. And I think that's about it. Yeah, let's get started. So we'll just walk through our back gate. Ta-da! This is a hot mess express over here. I hide everything behind this wall. It's my my clutter game in the backyard. Okay, so walking in from the back gate, this is what we started with, I would say maybe 3 years ago, is a compost tumbler. We have way outgrown it, but it works for the time being. I got it on clearance at Lowe's, and you just simply fill it up. It has 2 compartments, one that you add material to and one that sits and just kind of cooks into that good compost, and it rotates, so it tumbles. It's obviously like rusted on the bottom. We put all of our chicken droppings, like chicken bedding, whenever Reed cleans out the coop, he sticks it in there with the straw and such. And we put like our coffee grounds and some kitchen scraps back there. We divide our kitchen scraps between chickens. We have a worm bin, and then our rabbit, and then the compost. So yeah, we have a lot going on. But yeah, compost there. This is the real pile that's going on, and I want to create more of a structured compost area using pallets. That's going to come down the line. But this is where we're putting our excess, like just our plant prunings and clippings and things like that. This smoker is going back to my father-in-law. We are not very good at smoking meat, apparently. So it's just waiting for pickup. This here is my worm bin, and it's a little dirty on the top, but what I have in here, I bought 250 red wigglers from Uncle Jim's worm farm. And how you start this is super easy. It's just a plastic container that I got at Target, and I drilled holes all along the edges at the top for ventilation. What I started with was shredded newspaper, just some like old potting soil that I dumped out of some pots that had just been sitting there for a while, needed fresh soil in them. I added like water. You want to keep it moist for the worms, not like super wet, not dripping or anything, but just moist for them. And food scraps and coffee grounds, and also eggshells from our chickens. When we use the eggs, we put the eggshells in here, and they break it down. It's super low maintenance. And then what I do is I start feeding it on half of the bin for maybe like a month or so. The worms all migrate to the food. You bury the food, and they migrate to that buried food. And then I harvest worm castings from the other side where I haven't been feeding it. And usually what I do to make it stretch is make worm tea. So I put the worm castings in just a 5-gallon bucket, fill it up with water, let it sit overnight, and then I water the garden with that and dump out the castings on the plants. So that's kind of our system here, and it's fun. I decorated it with our stickers. This is just, you gotta make things lovely. Lots of stickers from Haas Tools. We like ordering from them. So yeah, that is our worm composting and our compost composting over here. And then Bugs' little house. This is our bunny's bunny hutch. Okay, talking about those closed loops. So one thing that we really wanted to harness was rainwater. So our summers are really, really, really hot. These are from Craigslist. They were like $15. Oh, excuse me, Facebook Marketplace. They're like $15. Some of them had fruit punch. Some of them had soy sauce. So we did a really good cleaning of the barrels. And then my beautiful, wonderful husband hooked up these spigots and rerouted our rain gutter to fill up the barrels. And then when this one is full, it overflows into that one. And we just put it up on some cinder blocks to get the gravity so it'll flow. And this is what we use to water our chickens, our rabbit, and the garden. Now, I will say we haven't had rain in a little while. And we've like been really trying to water the garden deeply as everything's getting established. We're out of water right now, so actually Reed is going to be making us a couple more because we want to just really continue to store as much water as possible. My dream is that we store enough that we can actually use it and filter it, maybe with a Berkey filter or some kind of filtration device. Reed talked about like UV lights maybe. That would be my dream, so that we're consuming less on the grid water, but that'll come down the pipes. This is what we're starting with, and it was really, really easy. I'd encourage you, if you can, like start catching water. I mean, why not? It's free water. Coming around the bend, ta-da! This is our cut flower garden. In here I have a really big dahlia tuber that has started to come up. So this is a whiskey barrel that we bought years ago. It was just sitting neglected in a corner of our garden, and so I put new compost in it and tried to amend the soil. So we have a dahlia tuber coming up. So there's a lot going on in this bed. This is a new bed we just made this year. Look how lush it looks, so beautiful. I actually sowed these poppy seeds. These are mother of pearl poppies from Baker Creek. You can see the coloring. This one is a little bit old. This one just popped. These are mother of pearl poppies from Baker Creek. I love this one. It's kind of candy striped. They're coming out. And I sowed these seeds in October. Okay, so a long time ago. They've been snowed on, rained on, and they're finally starting to bloom. We also have some ranunculus that I planted in October. These are from Eden Brothers, and they're just gorgeous. So again, this bed just got established this year, so everything is coming in, and I'm kind of trying to get a vibe for when to plant things, what's gonna keep this bed in bloom pretty much all year round. So right now we have the bulbs coming up, and a lot of stuff is about to cycle in. It's just so fun waiting for these, y'all. My first bloom, my dear toddler picked for me. I was like almost in tears. Actually, I was in tears, which is so sad because I had waited since October for this ranunculus to pop, and she brought the little bud to me. It was really cute, actually. Okay, my dahlias are starting to come up. I did the 90 days of dahlia mix from Eden Brothers. I have some zinnias that are starting to sprout. So I did whirligig zinnia mix and queen lime blush. These big ones, big daddies, these are hollyhocks. So I did like a dark purple variety of hollyhock that's gonna be coming in. Those bloom in the summer, they get really tall. Over here I have mammoth Russian sunflowers. We have some calendula, some straw flower, and along the back I planted amaranth seeds, so we'll see if those come up, but it's Hopi red dye amaranth from Seed Savers Exchange, and the idea is it's supposed to get like 4 to 6 foot tall, so I really wanted to fill in this wall, and we put in a climbing rose bush from Heirloom Roses. This one is, what is this called? Pretty in Pink, and it's just starting out. We got it when it was a bare root, just a baby, and my idea is to trellis it up this wall. So we shall see. Lots of visions, but I really love the shape of this bed. Our sweet little chimenea. I like to sit right there and drink my coffee in the morning. This is like toddler business, you know, you just kind of have like the order and the beauty, and then like the beautiful chaos. So that's toddler business. So that's our cut flower situation over there. We have an eclectic mix of chickens. So we have some buff Orpingtons, some speckled Sussex, or one, a Sicilian buttercup. She's one of the prettiest. We have some Americanas. They're kind of, some are laying. Where are you guys? Dirt Bath Central. So a few of them lay and sleep in here, and then a few of them lay and sleep in there. Yeah, we've just kind of like grown our flock over time, which introducing chickens to each other, you know, is an art. Sometimes they don't always get along. Pecking order is very real. But so far, everyone's living very harmoniously. We have 9 chickens in total, and we get between 6 to 9 eggs a day. White, light brown, dark brown, blue, and green. So it's really fun every day to harvest the eggs, go collect the eggs. Lily really gets into it. Our chicken pen. So we're actually going to be replacing, these are cattle panels and T-posts. Super easy. We use zip ties to fasten them, and it's worked really, really well for us. What we're going to be doing though is replacing it with some of the netting. We've been looking at the omelet chicken pen netting. That's a little, hopefully easier to move, and yeah, just more flexible. Because we're putting in garden beds, we want to do like a 4 paddock system with our chickens, where we're able to like rotate them more often to fresh grass. Like, you guys won't believe it, but over here, this is where we had the chickens for a month. It was like dead, like no grass. They had picked through everything. It was dirt, dirt, dirt. When it rained, it just turned into mud. We were like really wondering what was gonna happen. And guys, like the grass, we moved them not that long ago, like I would say maybe a week ago, and look at this grass coming in. It is unreal. So we really love that, and hopefully we won't have to, well, the goal is to not mow any of this lawn. That doesn't make sense when we have the chickens to do that for us. So just keep rotating them all down the yard for like a 4 paddock system, and it's going to fertilize our lawn, get good grass growing, and they get like really fresh weeds and grass to eat all season long. So that's the plan. So now I'm going to take you guys down this half of the yard, which is pretty much all of our garden space. So let's start here over by the house on the pollinator garden. This here is our pollinator garden. I popped in a couple strawberry plants that I had extra. Hopefully those will provide some good little ground cover. Oh, Lily's at the window. Can you see her? She's like banging. Mom! Okay, here I have some lavender, and with snowpocalypse, all the center pretty much like dried out, it died, but I'm super hopeful because we're starting to get some blossoms here. These are two different varieties of lavender. Do I know what they are? No, but you can tell the difference. One's this lighter color, and then I have a few of these darker ones mixed in. If anyone knows, let me know if you're a lavender expert. But yeah, flowering, which is hopeful, and it has a lot more flowers that are coming in. I love lavender. It smells so good. Right here we have cranberry salvia, and again, you guys, like right now it just looks like a bunch of green, but this stuff has this brilliant bright pink flower, and it smells so good. I wish you could smell it. It smells like really sweet. So these are all plants for our pollinators, and we always get a lot of butterflies. We've gotten some hummingbirds. This is Greg's Mist, and all of this is coming back from last year. I just cut it down for the winter. This is Greg's Mist, so it has like a really fluffy looking purple flower, and dude, it takes over. Like, I've been pulling little runners out like crazy. It can take over your whole bed, so be careful. I found that out on the curb. Someone was throwing it away. Isn't that so cute? For our pollinator garden. This is just some yellow lantana coming back in. So we have the salvia, the Greg's Mist, the lantana, and this also will erupt and take over this whole space. I just planted some chamomile, so we'll see how this does. They're pretty small. I was a little impatient. And some dill back there. I have my dill coming in, which is a cool weather herb, so I hope it comes in before it gets too hot. Right here, I have black and blue salvia. Again, right now you're just seeing green, but it has these really deep blue and bright blue flowers that are just gorgeous that the pollinators love. Now we're transitioning into my herb garden, herb slash blackberry. These are blackberry bushes that I put in. And again, I want to kind of trellis them up the brick wall. This one's doing really well. And this one is, it's getting there. It's just been slow going. I have chocolate mint, which they always say, contain your mint, don't put it in the ground. But we just try and do a really good job at pulling out the runners because I just love mint, and I'm kind of okay if it cascades out. I don't mind. More lavender. This here is oregano. Smells delicious. We use that a lot in our mushroom meatballs. Here is thyme, just some regular common thyme. I have some lemon thyme in a pot that smells divine. This is regular mint, and we make a ton of peppermint tea. That's kind of our nightly ritual, is the chimenea and making peppermint tea. And then lemon balm also for making tea. And they all just smell really, really good. So this bed also was established this year. Let me just say, most of these beds, besides our side garden, were established this year. We had some extra energy and time being stuck at home with COVID. That's really where we got into it. Here I have nasturtium. So my goal is to trellis it up these panels that we have protecting our vegetable garden. We have a lot of rabbits that love to eat all of our things, and we share quite a few things, but some things we don't want to necessarily share all of. Nasturtium, this is just an Alaskan nasturtium variety. I'm gonna have it here. I bought these as plant starts at the nursery. You can see the flowers are starting to come in. They're just gorgeous. I love that bright orange. And in this pot, indoors, I have started some Alaskan variegated nasturtium that I got from the wonderful, beautiful Mini Acres Farm. She sent me some seeds, and so I'm gonna get that started, and hopefully this is just all gonna fill in with nasturtium. You guys hanging in there okay? I know it's a lot. Let's keep going now. We're gonna go into the raised beds and the side garden bed. All right, so we'll start here. So we like to garden on a budget. It is easy to spend like $1,000 getting a zucchini, and we're just not about that life. So we really try to be efficient and not spend a ton of money. Hence, we have cinder block raised beds. And although they're not the most beautiful, they do the trick beautifully. So we'll start over here. Okay, this is an old iron fence panel that again has just been sitting in the corner of our yard, neglected. I put in these T-posts and just used some zip ties to hold it together. And I'm gonna be trellising melons up this because my kids love to eat melons, and so I wanted to grow some for them. In this side, we have two varieties of potatoes going, a red variety and Yukon Gold. And they just started really coming up maybe a week ago. And so we'll harvest these in a couple of months. But this is our potato patch. In the perimeter, we have a combination of garlic and onions. And they're actually not growing super well. They're not getting really big. So this is actually not an onion, that's grass. I'm probably going to just clip off the scapes and dehydrate them and maybe make some onion powder. They're also in this one as well. On this side, we have strawberries, and these are kind of just getting established. We have a variety called Tristan, which has these beautiful, there's a little berry. That's a funny looking berry, phallic looking berry. They have, let's see if I can find it. Well, this one's sad, but these bright pink flowers. Looks like none of them really flowering right now. They're kind of all turning into strawberries, which is cool. But I have a Tristan variety, and then these I believe are called Eversweets, and they're not doing as well. My sweet daughter loves to pick them and eat them, so they're pretty bare right now. She is just a little strawberry gremlin. And over here in the pollinator bed I planted, these are called Pretty and Pink, and they're just now getting really established, but they look healthy, so I'm happy about that. They also have a pink flower, these Pretty and Pinks. And the Eversweets have a white flower. Okay, bed number 2, we created the system Trellis to Make You Jealous, where we're going to be trellising our tomato plants up these garden strings. Varieties in here, we have this, I believe, is a wild blue boarberry, a blue boarberry from Wild Boar Farms. That's what it is. Brad's Atomic Grape, so 2 varieties of cherry. I have, oh gosh, y'all, I'm the world's worst at labeling things. A good variety over here. I have little popsicle sticks, but we'll see. I have red zebra, green zebra, triple crop, Lucid Gem, and I'm trying to think of what my other 2. I know I have some Cherokee purples in here. I have, a Paul Robeson. That's what that one is, a Paul Robeson in the corner. I need to find out which one this guy is. But I started these all indoors end of January. And I've put rabbit poop out here. I've put some tomato tone from, it's an organic fertilizer. So put that out there just to give them a boost, since this is the first year we're using this garden bed. They look pretty good. Some of them are already flowering. Hope I'm not making y'all sick with the camera. Some of them are already flowering, which is encouraging. But I will say, where the chickens cleared out this area, I had the aha moment of like, oh my gosh, that's really fertile land right now because of all the chicken poop. So I hurried up and put cardboard down. I planted, these are random tomato plants. So these are the ones that I didn't label because I started like 50 tomato plants this year. So who knows what the heck these will be, but I have about, I think 10-ish tomato plants over here in this little berm. So I put down strips of cardboard, put down mulch, and I just cut with a box cutter some X's to slide the cardboard over my tomato plants. So I planted these first, and look at how lush and healthy these look. I'm really happy about it. This one is a little bit struggle bus. That's a triple crop, I know. But I'm just so happy with how these are turning out. This one's actually flowering. You can see the cardboard. Just covered up with some mulch. So the idea is that the cardboard will disintegrate, and that this soil will just get better and better every year. So I have one panel up for the Trellis to Make You Jealous. So I'm gonna add my garden twine here to trellis my tomatoes up. And then these T-posts are just waiting for my husband's beautiful sledgehammer powers to come in, because I'm not so good with the sledgehammer. So I can continue this trellising system all the way down. So hopefully we'll have like a wall of tomatoes and be able to put our chickens back there for one of the paddocks. Back there, this is nothing fancy, but it's just I don't know what to do with this, y'all. I thought about making a rain garden. It's just a dead water pit. It gets super muddy. Our dog likes to play back there. So any ideas for what to do with standing water, dead shady space? This tree will shade all that out. Please comment below. Help a sister out. And finally, the side garden. So this is where a majority of our garden space is for growing food. And we have one water barrel in now. We're gonna be adding another one. Actually, I don't know how many Reed wants to add over here, but this uses quite a bit of our water consumption. So we wanna get more storage over here for the rainwater. All right, so we did this in sections, basically like thirds. So from here to about where the bricks end and the stones start, that was our garden space for a few years, and we've had variable success. Reed added in that third down there and then this third over here. So those are the newer spaces, also using cardboard and topsoil and mulch. And so these are going to be breaking down more so, or we want the cardboard to be breaking down. The middle section, cardboard's already broken down, it's established. So things grow a little bit quicker in those areas, whereas here with the cardboard, sometimes the roots don't get established as quickly. Okay, this is a rogue bean. What we have here is a variety of pole beans. So I'm going to be creating a trellis system for this row. Maybe using my bamboo little pyramids, I'm not quite sure yet. But we have a combination of greasy grits beans, homestead beans, which are basically like Kentucky Wonder Pole beans, and then some Cherokee Trail of Tears beans. All of them poles. Over here I have scarlet runner beans going, and I've been having a heck of a time with roly-polies eating my plant starts, so that hasn't been very fun, but this one's hanging in there. Another scarlet runner bean, and then I have some cucumbers coming in, salt and pepper cucumbers, and maybe a double yield or Armenian. Again, labeling is not my strong suit. These are also cucumbers. Y'all, like, they have been eating the sprouts but leaving the true leaves. I don't know what is up with that. But like, look at this one. There's only one true leaf left. Ugh, so frustrating. I think that's my loofah. I have some small squash. So these are Cherokee Tan and curry squash from Haas Tools. Those, some loofah. So again, I'm gonna have to get my trellises going. And then these are a variety of cucumber. I think these are the Armenian cucumbers, and these are the double yield and salt and pepper. I cannot believe these are hanging in there. I've had a heck of a time trying to get these established, but I have some cucamelons coming in. I have about 4 of these plants. And again, like, the sprouts were eaten off, but the true leaves remain. Thank you, roly-polies. So there is some hope. We'll see what happens. Cucamelons are just like also referred to as Mexican sour gherkins. They're like little teeny tiny, they're in the cucumber family, but they're supposed to taste really sour. We haven't grown them yet, but I'm really excited to try them just for a little garden snack this year. Is anyone else like constantly looking for their coffee mug? I always set it down and have to microwave it like 20 times. It's just not as good microwaved on the 19th time, let me tell you. Found it. Okay, moving on. So this is really sad. I've had a heck of a time with tomatillos. They need 2, from what I've researched. I've never grown them before. And twice, there's a roly-poly. You, my friend. Okay, I've had a heck of a time trying to get my tomatillos started. So this one's really strong, but twice I have started a partner for it and it has died. So I'm about to start like 20 tomatillos just for like insurance, because I really want them to grow this year. This is a purple demilpa from, I think we got that from Seed Savers Exchange or Baker Creek, I can't remember. I have some, oh yeah, look, they've been munching on that too. I'm about to have to put some kind of like diatomaceous earth or something over here. These are our sugar snap peas, and I'm going to be wrapping garden twine around this pyramid to create a big trellis for those to climb up. All right, continuing on. So these are onions I put in at the end of February. You can see a whole line of them. Oop, I put about maybe 8 rows. And it's a variety of like red onions, sweet yellow, and white. Dixondale Farms, their onion starts. And so far, variable success. These are looking pretty good. Like down there, they're really rocking and rolling. They haven't bulbed yet, but I've been fertilizing them with Dr. Earth's organic fertilizer and making like a tea with that and feeding them every couple weeks. Over there I have, in this big container, I have Heavenly Blue Morning Glory from Seed Savers Exchange. And my next goal is to wrap this pole with some garden twine and get this to start trellising up. They look really healthy. I'm happy with that. But I want this to be covered in blue flowers. That will make me really happy. Although, you know, this is pretty gorgeous, but I want everything to be covered in vines and flowers. That is the goal. That's my dream. These here are Brussels sprouts. I know it's kind of wonky spacing. They're just kind of like tucked in here. But these are Brussels sprouts that lingered from the fall planting. They never really took off until like recently. But I'm not gonna mess with them because look, they're producing, so I'm not gonna complain. Hopefully these make it before it gets too hot. These haven't really even started creating the little Brussels sprouts, but you know, I'm gonna let them hang out for a little while longer. Here we have elephant garlic, and I ordered, I think I did 8 cloves of elephant garlic. This is my first year growing this, but I got it from Haas Tools, and they've really taken off, so we'll harvest this in a couple months as well. It was really easy. You just plant 1 clove and it creates this whole big plant. Down here are some of my more established. I need to clip these scapes. We actually eat these as green onions. I just cut them down. But these are getting really good and established. In a couple months, I'll give these to grow. This is just lingering spinach from the fall that we still eat, so I don't want to quite let go of it yet. Look at that. I think this is just a heirloom like Bloomsdale spinach mix. But in the middle, we have planted our pepper starts. So we have a combination. Of course, I don't know what all these are. We have a combination of Tollis sweet Italian peppers, squash peppers, shishito peppers, and rooster spur. I also have some jalapeno starts in the house that are going to go in. And then from here over, I'm going to be putting my okra starts. We're doing Jing Orange, Clemson Spineless, Hill Country Red okra, which is so easy to grow. If you live in the South, grow you some okra. It's super easy. And then down here, I'm going to put my sweet potato slips in. So the idea is that the sweet potatoes can kind of vine out that way towards the AC, have more space to grow. And then here the okra is going to grow nice and tall, and they'll complement each other. So that's really our side garden bed. Nothing super exciting quite yet, but once these trellises are full of beans and the okra's going, I'm excited to show you guys. Again, the coffee. Help me, people. You want to help me do the tour? This is Lilybug. She been missing Mama, huh? Okay, now we're moving to the side of our house. And we're gonna go through the cottage garden and then our little rabbit tractor. Hey, Bugsy Wugsy. You need some more hay, huh? Okay, this over here has been established since we bought the house. And this beautiful peony, however you say it, is about to erupt. It has tons of little buds coming in. Yeah. Okay, yeah, tell them. And it has bright pink flowers that smell amazing. These are just some daffodils, some iris bulbs that I hope start to take off. The daffodils never flowered, I think because of snowpocalypse. They got a little stunted. I put in these blue hydrangeas in the back last year, and they came back looking beautifully. This is a Jacques Cartier rose, light pink flowers, big roses. It's supposed to be super fragrant. Again, that we got bare root from Heirloom Roses. I put in some Heavenly Blue Morning Glories to hopefully climb these cedar posts and make it feel like kind of enclosed. I put that also at the base over here to make it feel like, maybe a little magical secret garden. So they're just starting to take off. And then I popped in some geraniums that were struggling in pots that we had over here to fill in. So we'll see if those come back. This one is a bright pink and that one is a red. So I've just been loving on those, talking to them, telling them to please come back, please grow. And then this is the newest addition. It's a hellebore. You say that right? I don't know. A Lenten rose, and so it'll have a beautiful flower during the winter months. And this is our rabbit. We call him now Roundup because he has cleared out like so many weeds. You can't really tell because they've been popping back, but we just move him around the side yard to get some fresh dandelion greens. We feed him a lot of greens from the kitchen, some fruit. He gets Timothy hay, and he's just got such a sweet personality. But his main residence is in the backyard in his little hutch, and we let him play with the Yorkie every so often. He's very social. All right, and at the front door, we have what I call the tie-dye garden. I just love filling this up with bright colors. So we have some lingering pansies and Johnny jump ups. Yeah. Thank God. So I put in some coleus that are gorgeous, and some creeping Jenny. This is a perennial, so it comes back every year. And I just love all the color right when you walk in the door. Hopefully it'll fill in and look really lush pretty soon. But it matches our funky doodle pottery house numbers. Lisa Orr Pottery. Look her up. She has some beautiful stuff. Stained glass. So this is one of my favorite little areas when you walk in. So I know that was fast and furious, but I wanted to let y'all know what's coming down the pipes, what we have going. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. May you find the bounty in your own life and all the beauty that it holds. And we'll see you soon.